watching this clip, I couldn't help but think how ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists. But they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last years.
The inflation executive order the president signed, but egg prices have skyrocketed since President Trump took office. So what specifically is he doing to lower those costs for Americans?
Really glad you brought this up, because there is a lot of reporting out there that is putting the onus on this White House for the increased cost of eggs. And it was a joy to watch them on November the 6th when they realized that tens of millions of Americans do not listen to the lies that they have spewed. These women are completely out of touch with reality. And you're right, ABC should wake up. They just paid $15 million to President Trump's future library. That's a great thing for the Americans.
She's probably been put in there because according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
Explain something to you. Because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table.
By using every lever of his federal power, President Trump has sent a loud and clear message to the entire world. America will no longer tolerate illegal immigration.
And this is the first time that she's been she may be. But my point is that job would not maybe have been open to her.
No, I understand. I want to clarify that.
Yeah.
The ladies of The View are officially in meltdown mode. Karoline, the sharp and fearless conservative firebrand, just shook things up in a way that left Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, and Sunny Hostin scrambling for cover. And here's the kicker. She didn't even have to be on their show to do it. She went all in, calling them out for their double standards, dismantling their overused arguments, and putting The View on full blast. Now, the backlash is so intense that insiders are buzzing about ABC possibly pulling the plug on the show. Yeah, it's getting that messy. So what exactly did Karoline say that had Whoopi fuming, Joy rattled, and even Sunny at a loss for words? Stick around, because this is wild. But before we dive in, don't forget to smash that like button and hit subscribe for more Unfiltered. Drama and updates. Did you hit it? Perfect. Let's get into it.
I think she's probably been put in there because according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. According to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, that was not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous.
This is all women. See, this is not black, Asian women. This is all women. Women were not invited to this party. It was a man's world, and we busted up to make sure that this was a world.
The View is at it again, exposing its own hypocrisy in the most embarrassing way possible. This time, Joy Behar shocked viewers by implying that 27-year-old Karoline Leavitt, Donald Trump's press secretary, only got her job because of her looks. Yep, you heard that right. The same Joy Behar, who constantly advocates for feminism and women's empowerment, just undermined another woman's success in the worst way possible.
Karoline Leavitt's first briefing as the White House press secretary. Not a surprise, given it was essentially must-see TV during Trump's first term, that this room behind me, the James Brady briefing room, was essentially packed, standing room only around the chairs that you see on TV. I was in
the National Report Card showed that 70% of 8th graders were below proficient in reading, and 40% of 4th graders did not even meet the basic.
People online weren't having it. One commenter didn't hold back, calling it disgusting that Joy accused Karoline of being hired just because Trump sees her as a 10. Let's be real, this isn't the first time The View has gone after Karoline. They love taking swings at her because she's young, conservative, and refuses to follow their narrative. And of course, they rely on their usual tactics, mocking her, questioning her credibility, and suggesting she only has Trump's support because of her appearance.
The inflation executive order the president signed, but egg prices have skyrocketed since President Trump took office. So what specifically is he doing to lower those costs for Americans?
Really glad you brought this up, because there is a lot of reporting out there that is putting the onus on this White House for the increased cost of eggs. I would like to point out to each and every one of you that in 2024, when Joe Biden was in the Oval Office, or upstairs in the residence sleeping, I'm not so sure, egg prices increased 65% in this country. We also have seen the cost of everything, not just eggs. Bacon, groceries, gasoline have increased because of the inflationary policies of the last administration. As far as the egg shortage, what's also contributing to that is that the Biden administration and the Department of Agriculture directed the mass killing of more than 100 million chickens, which has led to a lack of chicken supply in this country, therefore a lack of egg supply, which is leading to the shortage.
With her signature smugness, Joy made it clear she doesn't believe Karoline earned her spot. Meanwhile, Whoopi Goldberg chimed in with her own take, claiming that without wokeness, Karoline wouldn't even have a platform to speak on.
Joy report card showed that 70% of 8th graders were below proficient in reading, and 40% of 4th graders do not even meet the basic reading levels. This is completely unacceptable to the president, and he continues to take aggressive actions to address this education problem in our country. He signed an executive order this week prohibiting federal funding of the indoctrination of our children, including radical gender ideology and critical race theory in the classroom. The president believes American education should focus on cultivating patriotic citizens who are ready for the work.
The hypocrisy is unreal. And just like that, The View exposed itself again. The meltdown, the double standards, the desperate scramble to stay relevant. But what do you think? Was Karoline Leavitt treated unfairly? Or did The View just prove, once again, that they can't handle a strong conservative woman? One commenter summed it up perfectly, pointing out how ridiculous it was that Whoopi Goldberg was out here trying to mansplain the press secretary role to Karoline. Yeah, you can't make this stuff up.
I would like this young lady this is her first job. I would like her to do a little homework. Because she said something yesterday that really, and that was, she said there will be no wokeness here. Oh yeah. Let me explain something to you. Because without that wokeness, you might not have that job. Yeah. Because women were not invited to that table. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation. The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this. And now to hear you talk about it and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness was put in place for a reason.
Then there was Sunny Hostin, and, well, she did what she always does, turned it into a race issue. But Karoline wasn't about to let that slide. Instead of ignoring the noise, she fired back with a response so brutal that The View's producers are probably still picking up the pieces. And this wasn't just any clapback. It was a full-on takedown that went crazy viral. She called out The View for exactly what it is. A group of out-of-touch elites who preach feminism but tear down any woman who doesn't agree with them. And she didn't hold anything back.
Very day, the same rhetoric that led to those two attempts. The second attempt at President Trump's life echoed the sentiment that President Trump is a democracy. And if you're a deranged lunatic and you're mentally ill, you will believe that lie, and yes, you will take political like we have seen in 2 instances against President.
As for Whoopi, Karoline had the perfect response to her so-called wokeness claim. She made it crystal clear that she got where she is through hard work, not by being a token diversity hire like the ones The View constantly props up.
Absolutely not. Let me be unequivocally clear about that. And watching this clip, I couldn't help but think how ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists. But they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last couple of years, completely out of touch with reality. And you're right, ABC should wake up. They just paid $15 million to President Trump's future library. That's a pretty...
And then she hit them with a knockout line that left everyone speechless. The View doesn't want strong women. They want women who follow their script, and I refuse to play their game. Boom. The second that video hit social media, Twitter erupted. Within minutes, hashtags like #cancel the View and #Karoline Leavitt takes down The View started trending. And honestly, it's not hard to see why. Oh, but it gets even worse for The View. They thought they could take a few shots at Karoline Leavitt and move on. Instead, they just made her bigger than ever. If she was already a rising star in conservative politics, now she's a household name. Behind the scenes, ABC is reportedly in full panic mode. Insiders are leaking that producers are furious over how bad this is making them look. Rumors are swirling about major shakeups, And let's just say Joy Behar's and Whoopi Goldberg's names are coming up in some very tense conversations. Translation, they might finally be on their way out.
Listen, Karoline Leavitt's first briefing as the White House press secretary. Not a surprise, given it was essentially must-see TV during Trump's first term, that this room behind me, the James Brady briefing room, was essentially packed, standing room only around the chairs that you see on
this is the first time that she's been she may be. But my point is that job would not maybe have been open to her.
No, I understand. I want to clarify.
And if you thought The View's loyal fans would rush to their defense, think again. Even some of their own viewers are calling them out, saying this time they went way too far. One viral tweet put it perfectly. The View loves to preach empowerment, but they tear down any woman who doesn't fit their agenda. Now, sponsors are getting nervous. Big brands don't want their name attached to a controversy that's turning toxic. Reports are already circulating that some companies are reconsidering their ad placements. And let's be honest, when sponsors start backing out, you know it's bad. The writing is on the wall. The View has been playing with fire for years, but this time, they might have finally burned themselves for good. The backlash is brutal, the hypocrisy is impossible to ignore, and now ABC has a major decision to make: clean house or cancel the show entirely.